Okay, welcome back. So this is the second video in this first part of drawing the your facer thing. And here is the dog that I sketched on top of this 10 by 10 grid that's provided in the course files. So in drawing this, notice it has some kind of wacky shapes. So these are not just squares and ellipses, but are custom shapes defined by these different vertices. So we'll go into drawing custom shapes. And also, because I want this puppet really to do things like have the tail wag, have it rotate around this point, and have these jaws rotate around this joint so it looks like it can be barking, we will be looking at how to handle rotation and also shifting of the anchor points of different shapes within P5. Okay, so it might help if you already have your facer thing drawn and sketched out on this grid, and just know that you want to think ahead about what you want it to do. So if you want your thing to respond to sound from the microphone and have it, its eyes get really wobbly, then you're going to need to draw something that has eyes that have the potential to wobble. Okay, great. Now, let's move into custom shapes. Okay, so back to the P5 web editor. I have started a new sketch, and it by default called it alder braid. It comes up with these funny, wacky words each time. I'm just going to call it 0.1. Or no, this is the video 0.1 and B for the second part. Custom shapes and rotation. Cool. Okay, and so by default it loads this kind of like skeleton background, or skeleton of P5, and the background in this setup is within the draw loop. So I'm just going to scoot that back into the setup loop because we're just working within setup for now. Okay, so I'll hit run. Here's our sketch to start with. And so to draw a custom shape, let you go ahead and load up the documentation for beginShape. And if you're on the reference page, it can be found within this vertex zone. So beginShape. And so the syntax for beginShape is first you say, hey, begin the shape. And then you set up a number of different vertices, and then you end them with end shape and then close. And when you say close, it'll like close it and create a fill. You can also do shapes that are points. You can also do lines. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so the documentation, I'll give you more details. So begin shape, and then just the vertices, and then end shape close. Go back to the web file. Okay, so begin shape, and then vertex. Okay, so to figure out what the first vertex is, I'm going to go back to bug, and let's just start at this top corner. So this is the X. It's like 1.5 out, so that's width times 0.15. So vertex width times 0.15, and the y value of that is going to be 3.5. So, and that will be height times 0.35. Okay, and then the next vertex, and I might just pause this recording to save you all the labor of watching me figure out what all these different vertexes are, but this next one will have the same y, but the x is now 0.7. So this will be the same, but the x instead of 0.15 will be 0.7. Okay, I'm going to pause this video and figure out the rest of it. So I've gone ahead and typed in all the different vertices. So let's see if it works. So beginShape, all the different vertices. Is vertices plural for vertex? I think so. All the different vertices, and then we're going to go ahead and I think it's EndShape, and then in the parentheses, close. Is that right? I don't know. Let's see. Drum roll. Yeah, okay. So that is the body of this doggo. Now, a couple other things to note with these custom shapes. If you go back to the reference, so this was beginShape, you can also do curve vertex. So here it looks like within this beginShape zone, instead of just saying vertex, you can have it say curve vertex. So back over here, instead of vertex, curve vertex, and say I want to change all these at once. If you hold down Command or Control, you can create a multi-line cursor, which is pretty cool. Makes you feel sort of powerful. Curve, vertex. That's right. And so we hit run here. Okay, and so that got a different look, right? We have a wobbly doggo. Might be into it, but I think for now we'll go back to the other way. Another thing to note about custom shapes is that you can cut things out of it, like negative space. So, and that's called a contour. Back in the documentation, we were doing beginShape, and here's beginContour. Here's an example of it. And so it looks like you first draw the shape. So here's beginShape, and down here is EndShape. And within that region, you also do a begin and an end contour. And this right here is this middle square that's being chunked out of it. So let me just add a contour in here. So I'm going to do begin, contour, how do you spell that? Contour. And that's going to end with end contour. Okay. And then in beside that, a few different vertices, and I might just kind of like borrow some of these and then change them. Ooh, and see how this indentation came out? There's a shortcut that you can do to tidy up your code, and if you want to look at the shortcuts up at the top under Help and Feedback, Keyboard Shortcuts, Shift-Tab is tidy, save. Command Enter, or probably Control Enter if you're on a Windows, will start the sketch. Awesome. Okay, so Shift Tab. So if I'm over here and I go Shift Tab, yes, it tidied it up and did all the indentations for me. Wonderful. And okay, so this is 0.5, 0.9. So this is probably around here. Yeah, so these are these two. So I'm just gonna, on this one, width times one. Okay, so these are these three. I'm just gonna raise them all up a bunch. So maybe make this 0.5, 0.4. I don't know. I'm just trying to create a contour here. And then run this. And this time I'm gonna use the keyboard shortcut, Command Enter. Yeah, and so I just created this contour out of the top of my doggo. And if we change the background color, you can see that it's transparent. The background is showing through. Ooh, maybe this should be a dog spot. I wonder if this contour, if I make these into curve vertexes. Whoa, okay, that did something sort of wild. What? So maybe the curve vertex doesn't work within a contour. Bummer. Yeah, so it looks like you can't do curve vertexes within a contour. I wonder if there's a way around that. If anyone finds a way around that, let me know.